Daf Yomi. The Gemara discusses a case where an Arusa became pregnant. Although there is a rabbinic prohibition to cohabit with one's Arusa, both admitted it was their child. Rav Yosef holds they are believed. In addition, Shmuel decided that Halacha Kram Gamliel, that a pregnant woman who testified the father was a kosher is believed. In our case, the kosher can only be the husband. Question. Shmuel instructed Rabbi Yehuda to follow Rabbi Gamliel only Barov Ksherim. Our case is Rov Psulim. The answer. Rabbi Yosef holds if a Kohen approaches the court for permission to marry such a woman, they permit it only Barov Ksherim. If married, they permit them to remain together. This situation is b'di'evet for her, having to leave her husband, and her child would be a suffix mamzer, not permitted to marry anyone. Question. Is Rabbi Yeshua the stringent opinion in these cases? There is a mission in Eduyos that states, Rabbi Yeshua testified that a widow who married a questionable chalul is permitted to a Kohen. It was Rabbi Gamliel who was stringent. The answer. Rabbi explained that Rabbi Yeshua differentiated between these two Mishnayos. In Eduyos, the husband's questionable lineage arose from an uncertainty, where a get his father through to his mother landed suffix karav lo. If divorced, her son from a Kohen is a chalul. Rabbi Yeshua assumed the widow investigated her mother-in-law's status before marrying her husband. Therefore, she can marry a Kohen. However, the pregnant woman in our Mishnah was promiscuous. It cannot be assumed that she investigated her cohabitor's status before cohabiting with him. Rava explains the distinction differently. In our Mishnah, Rabbi Gamliel accepts her testimony because in addition to her cheskes kashrus, she had tainus bari, a certain claim about her suitor. Eduyos, the widow was unable to clarify the circumstances of the divorce. Therefore, her claim that her husband was kosher was only a shema. Rabbi Yeshua adopts the stringent opinion in our Mishnah because there is one suffix, one doubt. She cohabited with one of tainted or untainted lineage. The case in Eduyos is a svek sveka, a case of two doubts. The meaning of svek sveka in this context is different than usual. The court doubts the widow's fitness to marry a Kohen because of a previous doubt, namely, was her husband a chalul? Question. If not a real svek sveka, why was Rabbi Yeshua lenient? The answer. The widow's cheskes kashrus existed before a marriage to the suffix chalul. According to Rabbi Yeshua, it does not suffice to marry a Kohen because Milo asu b'yochsin. However, the stringency only applies where the suffix was nolad with her, as in our Mishnah, but in Eduyos, the suffix began with her husband's mother. Bryce elaborated on the Mishnah in Eduyos. The widow is described in the Mishnah, and Bryce says in Almonas Isa, a widow who was married to one of uncertain status refers to one who was not married to suffix mamzer, a nasin, or avdei amelech. The Bryce brings three opinions when we must be concerned about this widow marrying a Kohen. Rabbi Yochanan explains the particular cases where he protests when accused of being a mamzer and is silent when accused of being a chalul. The Tanakama states this woman is an almonas isa when her husband is not accused these three accusations. It means that if he does not respond to an accusation of tainted lineage, it is shtika kaidah. His silence is an admittance, provided he protested in the past to another accusation. Although the Brisa mentions only three accusations, he applies his reasoning to other accusations as well. Rabbi Meir states she is an almonas isa when her husband is accused of these three. The first version of Rabbi Meir limits it to these accusations that prohibit him to marry into the kahal. If he does not protest to an accusation he is a mamzer, it is shtika kaidah. However, silent to an accusation that he is a chalul is not shtika kaidah. He does not pay attention to it because he can marry into the kahal. Therefore, his widow can marry a Kohen. Rabbi Shimon Elazar, the second version of Rabbi Meir, states an almonas isa is one who got involved with a chalul. Mamzerim are public knowledge. Chalalim are not known to the public. According to Rabbi Shimon Elazar, it is not shtika kaidah. He is silent when accused of being a mamzer because people who know who they are. Therefore, he does not take such an accusation seriously because he knows there is no substance to such a claim. However, silence to an accusation of being a chalul is an admission because it is in his interest to be silent so the court does not investigate. Halacha follows the Tanakama. Some Rishonim hold that Bizmanen one should not respond to such claims because since Besdin does not punish one for a false or rash accusation. However, one must respond to an unprovoked accusation. Other Rishonim hold this halacha applies only to families suspect of tainted lineage.